What's up YouTube, Dale here from Zephyr, and today I'm bringing you another Genesys profile. Today is the turn of Noble Knights. Now Noble Knights was like one of my favourite decks back in the day, really kind of fun deck, and it's all about King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table, which is absolutely really fun kind of lore behind it, and just kind of a nice deck in general. Now it does kind of remind you as protect the castle, so protect the king, because you try to get to one of your Noble Knight Xyz monsters and then you're kind of backing out with all of the different equipped spells, being different swords from the lore and everything else in between. So it's really fun. That being said, when we lost Isolde in the main kind of like modernized Yugioh, the deck did have to take a bit of a back seat, and then we had the more modernized retraining in the form of the Noble Knights. So when we're taking it back to the good old days of the Xyz, we're able to kind of put together Noble Knights themselves. Now the added benefit as well is we got some free TCG exclusives in Doom Dimensions. One of them is Chambar, the Flashy Sports Knight, which I'll talk about a little bit later on when we get to it. But then there's another brand new card in the main deck and an equip spell that are really kind of cool that help you get into this card. And it just kind of gives you a bit more of another dynamic for the deck to kind of play and utilize, which I thought fell really nicely into Genesys because the total points tally of this entire deck is 80 points. So it gives you 20 points to play around with depending on what type of way you want to take this deck. You can add Indominus Purges if you want to, but it just gives you a bit more flex space. So, with that out of the way, please smash that like button, hit that notification bell, and subscribe. I'm going to take you through the main deck, the extra deck, and of course, the side deck for Genesys. You have everything you need within your points tally. So starting off with your ideal starter being free Noble Knight Madrot. Another part of the reason of doing this is because Madrot recently got, I say recently, it's kind of weird that we're now back on Starlight Rares, but it got a quarter century rare upgrade, which looks absolutely amazing. So it is treated as a normal card while facing on the field, and then when equipped with a Noble Arms equipped spell, it becomes an effect monster with the following effect. This card becomes dark and is a level, the level is increased by 1. Once per turn, if you control no monsters, you get to special summon a Noble Knight monster from your deck in defense except itself, and if you do, destroy an equipped spell. So the idea is you equip it with an equipped spell to give it that effect, use this effect to destroy said equipped spell, get you another level 4 from the deck, then make your Xyz, and your Xyz then re-equips the equipped spells back from the graveyard. So that's how you're going to be able to get them looping around. Then we've got free Noble Knight Custom. So if you control a Noble Arms equipped spell, you get special on this card from the hand. Only special summon it once per turn. A Noble Knight monster that was Synchro summoned, Xyz summoned, or Link summoned using this card on the field gains the following effect. If it is special summoned, you get to normal summon a Noble Knight monster during your main phase this turn in addition to your normal summon or set. You can only gain that effect once per turn, and you can't normal summon monsters, special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn except Noble Knights. So it's really important that you remember that type of lock, but it's just ways of being able to be a bit more consistent. That if your opponent negates your Madrot, you can still get down the Custom and then be able to move into your Xyz plays as well. Then we've got two Noble Knight Brothers. Now, all of the Noble Knight cards are 0 points. The only card in the main deck, if I remember correctly, is Emulsionary Fulos. Everything else then comes from the side deck and the extra deck. So you have so much flexibility, it's pretty crazy. So two Noble Knight Brothers. So you can only attack... Sorry, this card can only attack if you control exactly 3 Noble Knight monsters and no other monsters. When this card is normal, you get to special summon up to 2 Noble Knight monsters from the hand. You can't special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except Noble Knights. And then once per turn, you target 3 Noble Knight and or Noble Arm cards in your grave, shuffle them into the deck to draw 1 card. So this is kind of like a nice extender. When you're looking at Genesys, with hand traps being more of a premium because of the points tally that they make up, you really want to put your opponent in a position where it's like, okay, I have to interact with you now. And then when you're able to make monsters that either can't be destroyed by card effect, can't be destroyed by battle, or generally can't be targeted by effects, it really does make it quite awkward for your opponent to deal with. Then for the rest of the Noble Knight monsters, we are playing the one Noble Knight Boars. So it's treated as a normal monster while facing on the field, and then when it's equipped with a Noble Arms equipped spell, it gets the following effect. This card becomes dark and its level is increased by 1. During your main phase, you reveal 3 Noble Arm cards from the deck, have your opponent randomly add one of them to your hand, send the rest to the grave. Only use the effect once per turn. And then for the other supporting kind of monsters that, I say monsters, warriors, but this one's a spellcaster that fit within the lore of the Noble Knights, is one Merlin. Merlin I'm in a bit of a grey spot of, and I'm in an orange, like, do I want to play 3 of the next card, or do I want to play 2 of the next card, 2 of the Merlin, 3 of the next card, and 1 of the Merlin? But I was like, you know what? Noble Knights are probably like one of the only decks that have their own inbuilt gamma. And what I mean by that is when you look at Morgan, the Enchanter, Enchantress Avalon, This card is when your opponent activates a card or effect while you control a Noble Knight monster and a Noble Arms equipped spell. Quick effect, you send this card from the hand to the grave to destroy a Noble Arms equipped spell you control, and if you do negate the activation, you can only use the effect once per turn. So when I say buy Gamma, it's just another nice hand trap that lets you negate activations, and it doesn't cost any points. Like, it's a Noble Knight card that doesn't cost any points, it's a hand trap that costs 0 points. It's really good. And then we've got the one Immortal Phoenix Gear. See, that's when you used to play this in Infernobles like no tomorrow. So this is just your generic warrior kind of protector that you get to banish an equipped spell from the field or grave, special it from the hand. And at the start of the damage step, if it attacks, you can equip one face-up monster on the field to it as a material, as an equipped spell. And then on top of that as well, it gives this card 500 attack. When a monster is activated, quick effect, you can send one face-up equipped card you control to the grave, negate the activation. If you do, you get to destroy it. Only use each effect once per turn. And then the brand new card, oh, actually, I kind of put this with the equipped spells. I'll do the equipped spells first. So we've got the one, Guinevere, the Queen of the Noble Arms. This is one of your kind of like equipped cards because you get to target a Noble Knight monster you control, equip this card from your hand or grave to it, and you can only use each effect once per turn. The equipped monster gains 300 attack, and then you apply the appropriate effects depending on the attribute of the equipped monster. If it's a light, the equipped monster will be destroyed by card effect, you get to destroy this card instead, and if it's a dark, the equipped monster battles an opponent's monster. At the start of the damage step, you destroy that monster, and then you destroy this card. Then for the final monster before we get into the Noble Arms, is we're playing 3 of the brand new Disguise the Copycat Hero. Now the reason this is so good is number 1, it's a level 4 warrior tuner. Number 2, if you have an equipped spell in your field or grave, you get to special on this card from the hand. And if it is normal or special, you get to add a curved copy Noble Arms from your deck to the hand. When this card is equipped with an equipped spell, you get to target one non-tuner warrior monster on the field with a level, this card's level, and its name become the same as that monster's until the end phase, which is really important because it basically becomes a Noble Knight monster, which is really important. And the equipped spell you're going to want to add with this one is your Cursed Copycat Noble Arms. So the equipped monster gains 200 attack and defense for each equipped spell in your field and grave. While this card is equipped to a warrior monster, you get to activate this effect. You can't special summon for the rest of the turn except warriors, which is absolutely fine. Also, special summon one warrior monster with the same attribute and level as that equipped monster, but a different name from the deck. And if you do equip it with this card, then destroy the monster that this card was originally equipped to. So it's another way of being able to get direct access to a Madrot. Because you've got a level 4 warrior, Disguise the Copycat, that then gets you into a level 4 warrior Madrot. And then the other Noble Arms we're playing is the one Gallatin. So you only control one of each of the equipped spells, but this one gains, the monster it's equipped to a warrior specifically, gains 1,000 attack, and then during each of your standby phases, it loses 200 attack. If this face-up card on the field is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, target a warrior, Noble Knight monster you control and equip it back to it. You can only use that effect once per turn. You've then got Destiny. So again, only can be controlled to a face-up warrior monster, and you can only control one of it. And then the equipped monster cannot be destroyed by battle or card effect, and if it is face up on the field, is destroyed and sent to the grave, you get to target a warrior and re-equip it. Excalibur, equipped only to a Noble Knight monster, it can't be targeted by an opponent's card effect, and then during your turn, except the turn it was sent to the graveyard, banish this card from the grave, target a Noble Knight Xyz monster you control, special summon from your extra deck one Noble Knight Xyz with a different name by using that target as material. This special summon is treated as an Xyz material, and it also becomes Xyz material on the summoned monster. You can use each effect once per turn, but obviously Excalibur is Excalibur, which is always going to be the strongest one, so that's how you're able to turn your rank 4 Artorias into your Sacred Noble Arms King Artorias. So you're going to be able to get loads of advantage out of the back of that. Then the final 3, we've got the one Caliburn. So you can only control one of it. Again, it can only be equipped to a warrior monster, and that warrior monster gains 500 attack. You get to gain 500 life points once per turn, and then if this face-up card on the field is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, again, you get to re-equip it to a Noble Knight. I'm not even going to try the second one on this one, but your next Noble Arms is your Dark Noble Arms. This one lets you target a set card your opponent controls. The equipped monster permanently loses 500 attack, and if it does, you destroy that target. The attack loss remains even if this card leaves the field. The monster becomes unaffected, or if the monster becomes unaffected by card effects. If the face-up card on the field is destroyed and sent to the grave, again, re-equipped it. And then the final one we play is the Clarent. Now, you're equipped only to a warrior. You can only control one Noble Arms Clarent, and then once per turn, you pay 500 life points. The equipped monster can attack directly this turn. And if this face-up card on the field is destroyed and sent to the grave, you target a warrior Noble Knight monster you control and equip this card back to it. It's just a way of keeping your equipped spells moving around. To help you get access to your Noble Arms, you do also play Free Glory of the Noble Knights. I really wish this card got a rarity upgrade because it would match the rest of the Noble Arms within reason. So you target a Noble Arm monster you control and you equip it with an equip spell directly from the deck, and then you equip it to that target. So another nice way, only can activate it once per turn, but it's a way to get to your equip spells directly from the deck, which is why you only need to play ones of them. Then we've got Free Heritage of the Chalice. So you add a Noble Knight monster or a Noble Arms card from your deck or grave back to the hand. And if your Noble Knight monster equipped with a Noble Arms equip spell is destroyed by battle and sent to the grave, while this is in the graveyard, you get to add it back to the hand. So it's been recyclability, it's a grind game, and it just gives you that consistency of getting either the Noble Arms or the Noble Knight monster. Then we're playing 2 Camelot, Realm of the Noble Knights and Noble Arms. Once per turn, if a Noble Knight card or card you control would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you get to destroy an equipped card you control instead. During your main phase, you get to banish this card until the next standby phase, and if you do, you place a Noble Knights of the Round Table from the hand, deck, or grave face up on the field zone. Then you get to special summon one Artorias monster, or add to your hand a Noble Arms card from your deck or grave. Only use each effect once per turn, and because we're using that effect, we are of course going to be playing one Noble Knights of the Round Table. So during your end phase, you get to activate each of these effects up to once per turn, depending on the total number of Noble Knight cards with different names in your grave or you control. 3 or more, you send a Noble Knight card from the deck to the grave. 6 or more, you special summon a Noble Knight monster from the hand, and then you get to equip a Noble Arms equip spell from your hand to that monster. 9 or more, target a Noble Knight monster in your grave and add that target back to the hand. 12 or more, draw a card. It kind of seems like a little bit of a... Like when you've got to have 12 to draw one card in like modernized Yu-Gi-Oh, that seems really, really bad. You're like, hang on a minute, there's people that play Dracatel, for example, that just put a card back from their grave and then draw a card. So this is why this card was never really that hype. But when you use Realm, then you kind of need to go into the Noble Knights of the Round Table. Then the final card before we go on to the Molchemi Furos is free until Noble Arms are needed once again. Now the artwork on Noble Knights were always absolutely amazing. So you excavate cards from the top of the deck equal to a number of Noble Arm equipped spells you control, and if you do, you add one of them to the hand. You place the remaining cards on the top of the deck in any order. You can banish this card from the grave, except the turn it was sent there. Special summon from your deck a Noble Knight monster with a different name from the card you control or in your graveyard. Only use each effect once per turn. Now, you don't need to be playing 3 of this, but it kind of gives you a little bit more resource to give you an excavation while also being able to set up that special summon from the deck. And then the final card, which is the only card in the main deck that costs points, is free Molchemi Furos, because going first, you want to build one monster and protect the castle. Going second, you need to be able to draw cards in order to help you do that. Now your side deck is going to be more focused on going second, and you'll see that when I get to it, but you do have a bit more flexibility depending on what you want to try and achieve and what you want to adapt with to kind of adapt this deck as you see fit. So moving on to the extra deck, we'll start off with the brand new Synchro. So we're going to be playing 2 Chambara, the Flashy Sports Knight. So this card has a really nice effect. So monsters your opponent controls lose 400 attack for each equipped spell you control. You can only use each of the following effects once per turn. Target one other card on the field, send one equipped spell from the hand or deck to the grave, and if you do, destroy that target. If this card is in your graveyard, you get to target 2 face-up cards in your spell and trap zones, destroy them, and if you do, special summon this card. So it's a nice way to keep this floating around as a 2700 beta. The tuner that you're going to be using, as already mentioned, is going to be your Disguise the Copycat Hero. So it's a really nice, easy way to do it, but it's really good that this is actually a level 8, so you don't need to worry about any type of kind of like fluctuation or anything else in between that. And the fact of the matter is that this searches you out your copycat Noble Arms as well is really, really important because it gives you pretty much everything you need to. And then being able to target a non-tuner warrior on the field with a level, this card's level exactly the same, and become the same in the monster until the end phase is really, really nice because then you're just adapting, like I said, to get to your Noble Knights. You'll notice when we're going to try and play our Noble Knight monsters, they all require 2 level 4 Noble Knight monsters specifically, so it was designed for this deck. The other synchros we play are just kind of like generic, I would say toolbox ones, but again 0 points in the form of the Scarlight Red Dragon Archfiend, just a way to kind of clear the field off, get a bit of burn damage going. Keeping in mind you do lock yourself into like Warriors sometimes, you do lock yourself into XZ sometimes as well, so these are going to be very, very flexible options. That and Draco Berserker of the Tenyi. In Modern, you'd probably play Lynx in some of the spaces, but you could very easily play 3 Flashy and then 3 of some of your other Noble Knight monsters. So for the Noble Knight monsters themselves, we are going to be playing 2 Sacred Noble Knight of the King, Custian. So 2 level 4 Noble Knight monsters. You detach any number of materials from this card to then target that many cards your opponent controls. You return them to the hand. If this card is destroyed by battle or card effects and sent to the grave, you special summon a Noble Knight Xyz monster from your extra deck, except itself. And if you do, attach this card from the graveyard to that monster as material, and it is treated as an Xyz summon. So this will allow you to kind of spin into any of your next Noble Knight monsters, either being the Artorias, the King of the Noble Knights. So when it is Xyz, you get to target 3 Noble Arm equipped spells with different names in the grave, equip them to this card. And then once per turn, you detach a material from this card to destroy any number of the spell and traps on the field, up to the number of Noble Arms equipped spells that you currently control. So that helps you deal with spell and trap hate. And the last Noble Knight monster we are playing is 2 Sacred Noble Knight of the King, Artorias. So when this card is Xyz summoned, you get to target 3 Noble Arms equips and equip it to this from the graveyard. Once per turn, detach material from this card to then target one other monster on the field, destroy it, and if this card on the field is sent to the grave, you target a level 4 or higher Noble Knight monster in your grave and special summon it. So the idea is that you kind of want to be utilizing your custom to get you access to your Sacred Noble Knight, and then you're going to be able to utilize your Artorias, the King of Noble Knights, as just another way to kind of help you rank into it. You can hard Xyz into this by using a Boars with an equipped spell and a Madrot with an equipped spell, but more times than not, you're just going to go into your custom, and then your custom is then going to work your way into your Sacred Noble Knight. Then for your generic rank 4 toolbox, I've got the one Exciton, Evil Swarm Exciton Knight, just to kind of clear fields off, 0 points. One Eclipse Twins, just to help you out in that bit of a grind game. The fact you can use this, you're not going to be able to utilize it as rank 4 material for your Noble Knights because they will need Noble Knight monsters, but being able to bring back some of your Noble Knights can really open up the grind state should you need to. The one Heroic Challenger Excalibur, so this one will allow you to go into a 4k boss monster that can then swing over some towers, which could be very, very useful. And then the last two, as we are quite heavy on Xyz, is we've got the one Typhoon and the one Zeus. Again, completely flexible, but this is where 30 points come up in your extra deck. You could very easily cut the Zeus, but I think it's probably a little bit more prominent than the Typhoon. That being said, if you cut out the Typhoon, that opens up 30 points for the main deck, and that could very easily be 3 Dominus Purges, because you want to try and stick to light monsters where at all possible. Moving on to the side deck, so the side deck is pretty standard for what I would call a Genesys deck. So you've got 2 DD Crows, 3 Droll and Lockbirds, backed up by 2 Twin Twisters. This is just generic spell and trap hate. This can be Cosmic Cyclone. If you want to utilize the points, it could very easily be Solemn Strike, Solemn Warnings, heck, even Solemn Judgments if you wanted to. Going second, we've got Gamma Seals if there are monsters that you need to out before you start to invest heavily into your field. And if you need to negate monsters on your opponent's field, 3 Dark Rule no more. And then to help break said negated field, you've got 2 Raigekis, which cost 7 points apiece. Lightning Storms are like 20 points a piece, which in my opinion is a little bit too much. You can very easily play more Harpies Feather Dusters, or you just play 3 Raigeki, and you're dealing with more monsters than anything else, unless you're going to be facing like an Eldritch Genesys deck or a Tombkeeper Genesys deck. It kind of gives you a little bit more flexibility to play around with. So that is pretty much it for the entire profile. I really do like the new edition of the Disguise, the Copycat Hero. I think it's kind of really nice that it synergizes with the Noble Knights themselves, and it kind of gives you a new kind of edge for the deck, which I really, really do like. So that's it for the entire profile. Hopefully this has given you a bit of an idea on just a Noble Knight update. Like, it's one of these decks that kind of just drifts in and out of the game. Well, I say drifts in and out of the game. It doesn't ever really get into the game. But the idea is that it's just one of these old school decks that I think Genesys has given like another small bit of lease of life. And if you're a Noble Knight fan like myself, and you didn't know that Disguise the Copycat Hero has already come out, now you do, and you're like, yo, I'm going to get that, and then I'm going to be able to utilize it in this deck to work out really, really nicely. Anyway, that is it for the entire profile. Any questions at all, by all means, please put in the comments down below. I'm always happy to answer them. For now, as absolutely always, stay safe, and of course, happy dueling.